Frankie, welcome to Hearts. First of all, how does it feel to be here?
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, very excited, to be honest. Obviously, I got the call last week from Joe saying would I be interested in coming up and joining him at Hearts to be the Academy Director, and I felt, well, massive club. So yeah, I'm delighted and excited about the challenge ahead.
You obviously be familiar with the club from your time up here in Scotland, but what was it about Hearts that made you think that this is the club for you?
Yeah, well, to be honest, you know, Joe was a big influence, if I'm brutally honest. I think in terms of, I've had a great working relationship with him. You know, we started off at Hamilton Academical, then we went to Norwich City with Alex, Neil, and then obviously Preston. And then Joe moved here as the sporting director, and then obviously when I'd lost my job just before Christmas, when I got the call, I went, well, massive club, fantastic fan base, doing extremely well. Currently, you know, Robbie, Gordon and Lee are doing a fantastic job with the first team. I know Stephen Naismith, who's in the academy as well, you know, working with the under-18s, and it looks as though it's a good place to be at the moment. I think they're flying high in the league, as I said to you, and you know, the task is to look and see if we can develop players to get them into the first team to assist, you know, Robbie in terms of going forward. So I think it's exciting times. You know, I managed to take in the Hearts and Celtic game last week, which was fantastic. I managed to see a bit of the derby last night, and you know, it just whets the appetite. And I know myself, you know, the old firm are big in Scotland, but I like to say Hearts, Hibs, Aberdeen, you know, to name just a few, are massive clubs, and Hearts at the moment are riding high, and you know, I'd love to be a part of them going forward.
You mentioned the fact that the idea is to bring players into the first team. Just a bit broader in terms of your role, what is the remit of your role you're taking on here?
Yeah, well, I'll come as Academy Director, and the task is obviously to oversee the Academy that Hearts have got. And to be fair, there's a great foundation there already. You know, the training facility at the Oriam is magnificent, to be honest. And you know, the task is to try, like any other, you know, academy in Scotland, is to try and promote within, you know, and get your own players coming through and trying to get them into the first team. But it's easy sitting saying that. You know, the difficult part is producing the players and having them ready for the manager to call upon them. But at the end of the day, it's a tough task when you're the manager as well. And I've managed to see it from both angles. You know, obviously I've been a manager myself recently in Preston, and sometimes, you know, the task about winning in the first team is so crucial. You need to win games as the manager. But when you're in the academy, your task is to develop players, to make them as good as they can be, to give the manager, you know, that chance to say, look, he's doing well enough, let's take him in and put him into the first team. And that's what our task will be. It's no my responsibility, it'll be everybody that works within the academy, and that's the part I'm really looking forward to. I think, you know, since I've been away, I'm 7 years yesterday away from Scotland, and you know, it's a place that is dear to my heart, and I'm really looking forward to coming here. Yeah, a fantastic club, as I said, and giving it my best shot.
You've got a lot of experience within the game, both in Scotland and south of the border. You mentioned that you've been a manager yourself, so that'll be something you'll be looking to put to good use in this role, won't it?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, you know, I spent many a year at Hamilton Academical. I was 10 years at Hamilton, and a lot of that time spent as the academy director latterly, but you know, head of youth and coaching coming through. And you know, the biggest part, you know, is about, you know, not just developing players, but also developing members of staff as well, coaches. So I see my role is not just about trying to develop players, but to give the experience and the knowledge I have to the other coaches that we have within the academy, because that is vital. I think the better coaching sessions that the players get, and the bigger, you know, and clearer aspects of the coaching that we give them, will get, you know, a lot of horizons and different horizons for them, and hopefully prepare them as best we can to make them successful. So that's the task. It's not just about the players, but staff as well, and seeing them progress. And we managed to do that when I was at Hamilton Academical. We've got Andy Goldie, who was a coach that I had at Hamilton's, now the academy director at Dundee United as well. So he's up there. So I've got a lot of people that I know in the Scottish game, and I'm just delighted that I'm back and being employed by Hearts Football Club.
Joe, you just appointed your new academy director, Frank McAvoy. Can you tell us a bit about why you find him suitable for this role?
I think with Frankie, I've obviously worked with him before. I'd worked with him at Hamilton Academical, I'd worked with him at Norwich City, and I'd worked with him at Preston. I think Frankie's a top operator. He's, in my opinion, one of the best. He develops players, he develops them really, really well. Especially at Hamilton Academical, there's a lot of players there that came through under Frankie that went on to have really, really good careers. So when I knew that there was a change going to be happening here and there was going to be a position available, Frankie was my first choice.
Academy director is obviously a really big role within the club. Can you tell us a bit about the remit he'll have?
Yeah, so he'll oversee all of the academy from the under-18s down to the girls and the boys. So he'll have a big job. There's no doubt in that. But he'll be excellent. We think that he develops players, but he also develops coaches. So he's got a great way about him. He's a great character, great attitude, and great outlook to how he wants football to be played. And I think him and Robbie and John McLaughlin, they'll see the difference in terms of the coaching and the players that we're going to try to bring through. Now, talk's cheap and it's easy for me to say that, but I really believe that in appointing Frankie McAvoy, he's going to be one of the best in the country.
Frankie's been a manager down south in Championship. Is it an advantage to have someone who has that experience, who can then understand, what the first team manager is going through, as well as the importance of youth development?
Yeah, I think so. I think that the fact that Frankie has been a manager and he's been an assistant in the Premier League in England, he's been an assistant in the Championship, but he's also been a youth coach, he's been an academy director previously. I think all of that comes to one for us, that he is going to be the one that the club needs to drive the standards, to raise the standards of our academy. I think it's a good academy, but like everything, I think it can improve and it can get better. And I think his experience of being in the clubs that he's been at will help us hopefully produce better players. And that's the aim. We need to try and get better players. We need to get better players into the first team if we can, to give more competition. Because I know I'm the sporting director, but I don't just want to be signing players from Australia, England all the time. I want to be looking in the academy first and saying we've got a good right back, we've got a good centre back, and a good centre forward, and saying, right, rather than signing somebody for there, why don't we bring him up, and put him into the first team and see how he does. And I think I have to mention as well, a big thing for us is that there's no reserve league, there's no B team. We need to get that, we need to sort that. I know there's a task force for the reserve league to hopefully create one for Scotland, but if that doesn't happen, then we as a club we're having discussions about creating a B team for ourselves, because the jump from the 18s to the first team is too big at the moment, it's too high, and we need to bridge that gap, and Robbie's on board with that. He's massively behind that. Frankie will help with that, so that's definitely the plan if we can get that done.